And welcome back to part 2 of Bloodborne. This time we'll be taking on the Yharnam sewers and Father Gascoigne. Sorry if I sound a bit tired, I didn't sleep too well last night, but hey ho. I'll try and get a move on and try and keep relatively optimistic as we go through this. These enemies can punish you quite a bit, but they're relatively easy to parry, so keep on them and you should be fine. If they're holding a brick, they're even easier to parry. There's an alternate version that's holding like a giant club, and they're slightly harder to parry, but they shouldn't give you too much grief. All I'm trying to do right now is quickly open up a shortcut and then head towards Eileen, which is an AI you can bump into in this, and she gives you a few nice starting equipment. That door can only be opened from this side, so I went and quickly opened it. Yeah, there's also a side quest you can follow later on, which I sort of miss, but sort of don't. Because, like, you have a part of a side quest, and later on you can bump into her again and kill someone with her. After that, much later in the game, you can find her outside the Grand Cathedral, and you can take someone out for her. If you skip the helping her out on the fight, though, you'll fight her instead, because she'll go insane because she gave into blood. And I end up fighting the one that gave into blood, but I didn't record it because it's not part of the main game, so I didn't feel the need, so I just sort of did it off screen. Same with Alfred. I didn't do all of Alfred's plotline. Well, I did, but I just didn't record like any of the excess stuff. I just recorded meeting him and where you can find him. That woman there, that was at the door that you heard call at a second there. When we find the chapel, we can invite her to the chapel to get free stuff. Because that's like another side quest in the game. Once you find the chapel, you can invite people there to try and save them from the nightmare. Up here's Eileen. I get my bold hunter marks, which allows you to reset the checkpoints without losing your blood echoes. Talk to her again, you get the shake off cape. If you try and talk to her any more times, you're wasting time. I immediately put the bold hunter's mark on the personal effect, just because I want it to be easy to access, but I don't feel the need of putting it on quick inventory, so I just have it there. This can be there we go. You can't just pick those up, you have to chop the chain. One of them is the saw spear, which is a longer but slightly slower version of the cleaver, so I just stick with the cleaver just because I prefer speed over reach. I take the fall. I don't think there's an alternate way down there. At least that's the way you'd normally go if you didn't jump out the window like I did. The enemies here are quite dangerous, so be careful. They can put you down. And the guy with the musket, the closer you get to someone with a gun, the more damage the bullet will do if it hits you. Like at point blank it hurts a lot, but from a range if it hits you, it will hardly touch you. Which sort of makes sense for a bullet, I guess. Oh, I can hear the rats running around already. We are approaching the sewers. There are alternate ways of getting to Father Gascoigne. I just think the sewers is the most effective way. And there's a lot of good loot along the way for it. Drop down here quickly, deal with the rats. Ow. Be careful with the rats, they're not as bad as like other rats in FromSoft's games. Like it's still no Royal Rat Authority from Dark Souls 2, but they can still be quite annoying if you let them catch you off. Right, you can see me try and jump to the other side, but I don't think you can actually ever make that jump. But I do aggro the rats down on that ledge down to me, which is, yeah, that's always good. And that's the first, I think that's the first Madman's Knowledge you can find. And like I said, Madman's Knowledge allows you to increase your insight, which our insight's already at 4, because, as I said before, you get insight from finding boss arenas and dealing with bosses as well. And we're in the less important side of the sewers, but I do a little bit of checking around for loot first. You can get shot at from that from this ladder, so quick climb it. And this has never happened before. That enemy has never climbed down the ladder before. For me, he's always stayed up there. So to see him start working his way down caught me off. So eventually I shoot him down and just deal with him. But I was just surprised. I wasn't expecting him to come down here. Yeah, more blood vials is always welcome. Once you reach the maximum number of blood vials or bullets, any more you get will go into your storage. And they will automatically get pulled out of your storage if you die or reset. That's a relatively well-known shortcut, and by now that little bit there. I mean, there was no point in me using it because you're going to see me circle around and deal with all the enemies anyway and get more loot. But yeah, that shortcut's there if you just want to get through. I still think the crows are the much more infuriating enemies. Like, the rats can be annoying, but the crows... Oh. The crows are so poorly designed in this. And they can get so many hits on you. Like, there's several points in this game where you'll see them, like, combo the crap out of me. And they don't even do that much damage, they're just annoying. That's the jump attack if you tap forward and R2 at the same time. More bullets. You're going to see me prioritise trying to collect more bullets than blood echoes as we go through. Like, when we go to the shop early on, you're going to see me buying a lot of bullets any chance I get, just because I rely a lot on gun parries, and so running out of bullets isn't so good, because you can have an infinite source of bullets. They're called blood bullets, the infinite source, and you just tap up on the D-pad. It takes a chunk out of your health, and there you go, you got 5 more bullets. But I don't particularly like using that because of the obvious, it takes a chunk out of your health. These enemies might not have legs, but don't underestimate them, they hurt. And there's quite a lot of them here, so I'm being quite cautious as we go through. And that attack where they're constantly crawling forward at you, don't let that catch you out too many times. I'm nearly dead there. Because when they start crawling at you, like the first time you see it, you probably won't recognise it as an attack, and when you get hit by it like 5 times in a row, it'll probably kill you. I don't use the long version of the cleaver often. I usually only use it for transfer attacks. So this is what I mean. Look how many times I got hit there. Because if you tap L1 mid-swing, he'll do an attack. Whoever you're playing as will do an attack that swaps to the weapon's alternate form during it. And the cleaver's one's very effective, where it goes from short to long, because it carries the damage of the short version whilst getting the range of the long one. But only for that one attack, so it's a nice finisher as well. This ladder opens up a nice shortcut back to the bridge, but I don't really use this shortcut if I ever go back this way, because there's better ones. But it's still nice to have. I just open it up, get fucked up by all the crows, get my madman's knowledge. This guy is slightly harder to parry because this guy's got the club I was on about. I still managed to get it though, but just be prepared that he might catch you out. And him with the club will do a lot more damage than the guys with the bricks. So yeah, that's like it'll knock off like half if he hits you. Up here, you can actually talk to Father Gascoigne's daughter, and she'll give you, if you offer to try and find her mum, she'll give you a tiny music box that you can use against Father Gascoigne. The way you're supposed to use it is about 2/3 of the way through the fight before he goes into beast form. Use it to stun him to get extra hits, and so he has as little health as possible before going into beast form. I don't use it full stop when we come to fight, and you'll see I'll still get the fight done relatively okay, but yeah. Oh, and around this time, if you remember last part, I said there was a secret area with secret armor that I completely missed. Around this point, I remembered it because in the corner of my eye as we was going down the ladder, I saw the alternate path, and then I remembered, oh wait, this is here. So you'll see me go back for it in a bit. I think I do a cut to it not long after the boss, but... You don't have to clear out all the enemies. If you're confident, you can just completely sprint past them. I just choose to because I like to do a lot of early game grinding, so I don't have to worry about it so much later on. And yeah, that's how much health these guys have got. A fully charged R2, and it just took it like a champ. This is me experimenting. I'm not sure how effective Molotovs are, so I just start throwing them out just to see what happens. They do more damage than my weapon, so I'd assume these enemies are weak to them. There's another one back here, like guarding some loot, so don't be fooled. Bloodstone shards are what you use to upgrade your weapons. You got normal ones, you got twin shards, you got bloodstone chunks, and you got blood rock. But there's only one main blood rock in the game, and then one in the DLC. I do get both of them, so that's a plus. And the only real reason I go after both of them is just so I can show them off, but it's also nice to have a plus 10 on my weapon. The pig here won't do its charge attack at you, you just sprint straight up to it. Its charge attack will do ridiculous damage at you at this point in the game, so don't risk it, just get straight up on it. And it's not that hard to deal with. Down here you'll find a Saw Hunter's badge. That will allow you now to collect any of the starting free weapons. So, and if you haven't got the Saw Spear, I think that's also added to it as well. So now if you want the cane or the axe, you can get them as well. It also means you can get the alternate gun that you could have got at the start, the shotgun, the blunderbuss I think it's called. Right, along here is the better shortcut. So you're going to see me activate it and then roll out of it just so then it's active so I can use it in future occasions. Now you're going to see me activate this swarm and then sit on the side. This swarm of enemies will never notice you if you sit here. I have no idea why, they've just never noticed me. And if you wait long enough, that will come down behind them. And it almost gets all of them, but since it didn't, I just quickly go clear it up. I find that funny that the enemies will actually kill their other enemies to try and hit you. But up here is another big guy and a guy with a torch. Now what I'm trying to do here is horrible. Never try and parry anyone or anything on stairs, because you'll never get the actual proper counter, the visceral. It's the same on Dark Souls, and it's just as annoying on this as well. Don't bother, and you're going to see me a few times get screwed over by that just because I forget in the moment. Right, up here is two enemies and then it's Father Gascoigne. But since I've got a lot of blood echoes and I don't trust myself to not be able to do this in one, you're going to see me actually use a Bold Hunter's Mark once we deal with these two enemies. I actually ended up beating Father Gascoigne on my first try, but to me it was better to be safe than sorry. You're completely invulnerable in visceral attacks, which is why that enemy's attack went straight through me. It's also the same with your opening doors, so if you want to rush through this area and get straight to a door, you also can do that, because any enemy that tries to swing at you, it won't hit you as soon as you go to open a door. It also gives you Bold Hunter's Mark there. They expect you to use it. So I quickly use it, and all it does is reset you to the lantern. So as soon as I go back to the lantern... Oh no, this is where I show off the alternate path, never mind. Because I pointed out last part, but this is the alternate path where the secret armor is, and a werewolf is chasing me by the looks of it. And this guy's glowing, so he's got my blood echoes, so it means at one point I died down here. Yeah. I have no shame in admitting it, I do die quite a number of times in this game. I die a lot more than I did in my practice runs, but I just put down to a Let's Play curse. More than anything. But there are still some bosses I've yet to ever die to. And I'll point them out as and when. But then there are some bosses that used to give me trouble that didn't, and some bosses that usually don't that did. So yeah, it was a very mixed run, this run of the game. I actually preferred this run. Like if this run ended up like some of my practice runs, I feel like I would have less to talk about as we go through it. But this run actually ended up working in my favour because there was a lot of interesting moments that wasn't quite expected. That's the secret armour. Oh, now I cut back to the Hunter's Stream, so I must have used another Bold Hunter's Mark. Let's see, what do I upgrade? Yeah, you see, I put most of my focus into my strength and skill, just the odd bit in vitality and endurance. By the end of the game, my vitality is the same as whatever my skill and strength is by that point. At this point, I'm just going through all my cold blood that I've collected. Cold blood is essentially just experience in a pot. So I just quickly go through and use them all so I can get more blood echoes and level up a little bit more. I think this I focus on my health. Yeah. Oh, and a bit of my endurance. Endurance is just your stamina. Vitality being health. Strength is your like general damage dealing. Skill is more focused on weaponry. Blood Tinge is focused on gunplay and Arcane's on magic. But skill also like affects certain weapons. Like when we get Ludwig's Holy Blade later on, the short sword version of that is completely based on skill, and the broad is based on strength. So you have to learn both. I also take the liberty of buying the hand lantern just because I don't like holding the big torch. I prefer to have the gun in my hand instead of a torch. I mean, the torch is nice because you can scare off certain enemies, but I just choose not to. I also take a chance to upgrade my sword cleaver a little bit, so it'll dish out a bit more damage. I'll stop at +3 for the cleaver because by then I'll be ready to turn to the Holy Blade, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But despite this being post-commentary, it's still like I'm not working off any script, so I do apologise if I stumble a bit, like my usual stumbles. But that lift, I'm showing the run back to Father Gascoigne just because I can show you where the lift is from this side, where the shortcut at lift is. So on the other side of these two enemies, instead of turning right and going up the stairs like you normally would, just carry on going. And here it is. Don't know why I jumped at it. And just in case I die, I reset the lift as well, so it'll go back up, just because it saves time. Which I end up not, spoiler warning, I end up going through this and fight with relative ease. Not the best fight against Father Gascoigne I've ever had, but I got through it, so I'm at least happy with that. Because you can parry Father Gascoigne, and you can parry every form of it. You can even parry the beast form if you shoot at the right time. The only problem with that is actually doing that, because the beast form of Father Gascoigne is a nightmare. Also, I hate this arena. That's like one of the main reasons why Father Gascoigne is such a hard fight. This arena is filled with so many indestructible graves that you'll just get stuck on, and then Gascoigne will hit you. He's also using the Hunter's Axe, which is problematic when it's the enemy using it.
Beasts all over the shop. You will be one of them. Soon one of these.
And that's probably one of the most infamous lines in Bloodborne because of how many times most people die to this guy. I don't know why he's got a bandage over his eyes though, but hey ho. Right, strategy for this guy. He is extremely aggressive, so you either keep up the aggression or you parry the crap out of him. Which I know, if you're following it new, you'll probably want to just keep up the aggression. Pay attention to his swings, and if he swings like overhead of his right side, dodge to your right and go mad swinging at him. Don't give this guy a break because he won't give you one. You can see as soon as he got up, I immediately attacked him again.
What's that smell?
You've got to keep the aggression on this guy because otherwise he will just wipe you down.
Oh, it seems to me.
He's the fight that encourages Bloodborne's aggressive play. Because like, as said last part, Dark Souls is a lot more defensive and tactical, whilst Bloodborne is very in-your-face aggressive. Father Gascoigne here is the one that outright enforces it. If you can't keep up with his aggressive nature, you will struggle against Father Gascoigne. I managed to catch him off there. Visceral attacks will also restore any orange health, like the sort of temporary lost health. It will restore all of it as if you've got like a massive combo on him, which is also great if you can take the hit. Around this point is when you should pull out the music box and use it, but you're going to see me not and just go to town on him anyway. This form is a nightmare. This form will end most people right now because he is so aggressive and so ridiculously fast. But as stated before, you can keep up the aggression on him, and which is what I recommend, but you can parry him if you're good on your shots, which I don't manage to in this fight. This is what happens if you get stuck on a grave. Watch me just get held here and very nearly die. He's also, in this form, quite weak to Molotovs because he's gone into a beast form. But there he goes. I was quite happy with myself I managed to beat him on my first try, but he is a hard fight. Do not underestimate him under any circumstance. You have to keep up with him, you have to be aggressive, otherwise you just won't last. After the fight, if you come down here, you can find a red jeweled brooch. This is Father Gascoigne's wife's brooch, so you can take that back to Gascoigne's daughter to almost let her know what happened. I do that, but I think I do it off screen because I don't follow the whole of her quest along, because it ends up with her getting killed, and so yeah, I don't bother following it along. I upgrade a little bit more. I think I sell some stuff as well. That's all the stuff you can get now. I'll buy one more Bold Hunter's Mark, buy Nod Molotov, and then go mad buying blood vials. And you can also now buy all of Father Gascoigne's gear with your insight, which I don't do for like 90% of the game. Like, I do right near the end, but as of right now I don't bother, I just sort of leave it there. Oh, but I do buy the rings, or the bells even though it means nothing because I'm offline. Anyway, I'll wrap this up. Next time, we'll work our way through Old Yharnam and take on the blood-starved beast. But until then, take care now.